Greetings everyone, it is me Gigalem and welcome back to Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. In the last part, we stumbled through Orange Ocean, talking about Mountain Dew flavors apparently. Well, I guess the ocean looks like live wire. As you can tell, I barely survived the last fight, so don't be surprised if I die in this next level. So, let's begin the Rainbow Resort, the ice levels of the game, and also the final world. A world that is centered upon dreams, and with those dreams come some very abstract ideas. It's a very mystical place where dreams are gathered, and where dreams are given back to those sleeping in Dreamland. I'm pretty sure that if I had a video of every time I said dream in this video, well, I'm pretty sure this video would be over, because if it went faster every time I said the word dream, well, yeah. Ugh. I have to play this safe because I'm almost dead. And, yeah. We got a health refill. So we better be careful around here. We're going to need that enemy for a secret later. And, of course, I end up killing that Waddle Doo. As I do. Do. Because we're going to be getting one of those enemies later. I forget their names at the moment, but we are in the final world, but this is not the final part, as you can easily tell. And, weird flex, but alright. You have to also deal with the games, when you off-screen something, they will respawn, BS that they kept from the NES age of games. Man, am I glad we're not in those times anymore. Oy. No, Kirby. Oy. I keep forgetting Kirby does not have a run button in this game, but with his default moving speed is good enough, so of course I swallow one of those blocks, but yeah. My first playthrough of Nightmare in Dreamland, Kirby, what the heck, was not really a pleasant one due to the fact that, well, I dealt with a lot of growing pains with this game, and it was when I got my Meta Knight amiibo, rather. Meta Nightmare is the mode we're going to be playing as the finale. Of course, game. Why the heck not? But it was... Ugh. No, I'm keeping this. I said I'm keeping this. But basically, it was me having a bit of frustration with this game, and the reason why I have my frustrations is due to the fact that this game is due to the fact that, of course, is the one hit you lose your ability kind of BS that you have to deal with. And I remember just playing this in call and just having a lot of frustrations. Speaking of which, you have two choices. If you want the easy path, you go down. So now, what if you took the easy path? Well, expect me to die. Okay, now, let's do it. So, this is the easy boss rush path. This is the first time I'm taking it, and our first opponent is Poppy Brothers Sr. And I don't know why I think I can actually walk away to avoid Poppy Bros jumps. There we go. You get that to get the crash ability, not bomb, crash. And guess what we're going to do? Oh, I see. It's full of one-hit KO bosses. So yeah, now we got the mic. I'm not going to scream real hard because it's like really late in the morning, but... No! Oh, birds! Okay. Now... for bonkers. I'm probably gonna die. I see. The hard mode boss rush is basically a shortcut. You face less bosses. Well, I could be wrong though, because this Fanpan's not acting nearly as aggressive as the hard mode. Okay, so, yeah, hard mode is shorter, because you have more aggressive bosses, because they can't really think of a way to make, I think it was Mr. There goes a life. Oh, yeah, I got too close. Like, there's no way to get out of it. Like, once you're in their grip, like, you have to take the hit. But yeah, they're not nearly as aggressive as as the hard mode versions. But are you serious? Oh, I did it again. Got too close. Keeping my connections while I get both of them in my vicinity. Come on. Release the bugs. And I got hit. And I got too close. Try it again. Okay, don't get too close to it, and of course, you got over my... Yeah. That's like 2/3 of the health gone. There we go. And there's literally Fire Lion. I've been calling it Burning Leo for the longest time, but it's actually just Fire Lion. Oh no, wait. One thing I really don't like is how I don't know which move this Fire Lion's going to go for next, because it's just even in the easy mode version of it. Oh wait, got too close. Come on. I keep getting too close. Ugh. I keep playing way too recklessly with this game, admittedly. Oh, yeah, jump right into it when he jumps. Because now I have to wait for the stars, and let's just say I'm not a fan of having to wait. That doesn't work either. Okay, one more hit. Should do it. There we go. Yeah, and you skip the one-up room. So, I'll be back with the extra mode ending. If you want the hard path, do this. Starting with Bonkers. Every mini-boss here is a lot more aggressive and has less openings. So they're going to act a lot more, act quicker into their actions and such. So, of course, there's going to be points where you think you're going to be safe, but you're not. And I took a very big risk there. Of course, the game didn't like that, so it punished me for trying the style. Now for the boss that's definitely gonna kill me. Immediately, like I walk in and it was immediately rolling. That's how bad it was. I never get past this without losing a life. So yeah, now it's time for Fan. Fan is super aggressive here. Like literally, if I just breathe, it will just immediately do this. Ugh. Like, that wasn't even 2 seconds after its first roll. Like, it's already jumping around a lot. Down to 3 hits. That is probably my best performance against this thing. But I am probably going to die immediately to this next boss. This is Bugsy. At least hard mode Bugsy. It is also one of those few enemies that you're expected to get your ability from a mini boss rather than a normal enemy. And there'd be very few occasions where there'd be normal enemies that would give you mini boss exclusive abilities. It took Kirby 30 years to actually have an enemy that actually gives a hammer. Ooh! Or probably a little less time than that. Actually, no, 29 years since the introduction of copy abilities. Because copy abilities were always handed out by Bonkers. Now for, I can't remember the name of this enemy, but Burning Leo, and already I get hit. It's like I forgot how to fight this enemy suddenly. Ugh. I turned around and the game didn't... Guess we're doing this no ability. For a while, I was convinced this game really didn't want you to use copy abilities because of how much it kept punishing you if you even got hit once. Because I guess that was the norm back then, but because of how easy it was to get hit in this game, it just, well, sure, I'm a spoiled player by later games, but it just felt like Kirby getting hit, period, was like the worst thing ever. Ugh. I have a hard time trying to tell what this mini boss is going to do next. I think I just barely got that. And burning we got. And here's your reward for taking the hard mode path. 5 1-ups for absolutely free. So if in case you messed up somewhere, well, good news, this is there for you for absolutely free. And if you're still scuffed but you survived the fight, well, over here, not only do you get a free sword ability, but a free health refill too, like so. And that's about it for this level. And I almost made it to 1, would have been nice to cap it off with that. But now, on to level 3, where things really get mystical in Dreamland. Would you believe that the first time I saw the aesthetics for this world, it was in Mag Mammal 2 when Rome was playing through that? I like the idea of the Mag Mammal games, but I'm gonna admit, there were points where I thought that game had a bit too much content because it felt like it just won't end. And not in a good way. Like, it's just like, how many more levels or side things or things you want me to do? This is Make a Good Mega Man contest, not Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, I applaud the developers for wanting to make sure there's enough lasting or staying power and such. And I do hope that things got better from there. But it's just... but it's just like, In terms of the platformer, I don't mind the lengthy platformer as long as it doesn't feel like it's overstaying my welcome, because last thing I need is for me to just get bored of the platformer or get burnout and such. Because you wanna know what happens if you get burnout? You get Spark the Electric Jester, where the levels don't end and the bosses are absolutely boring. Like, at least Spark 1. I've not played Spark 2, and I kind of had no desire to play it because of just how it felt like, how at the time it felt like Lake was not taking their IP as seriously as they should be. And like, I hear good things about Spark 2, but if you were to ever tell me Spark 1 is better than Freedom Planet, no, I would disagree super hard, because Freedom Planet, for all its faults and such, and jank, at the very least, it has way more polish than Spark does. Like, Spark is a game that's on autopilot and is completely brain dead, but and its idea for hard modes and such is just have 2 hits in a mode that was clear. Well, I guess I get that for smack talking Spark the Electric Jester, but it's lacking in polish and optimization, and and the fact that it's coming from the same developers as the before the sequel trilogy, and like, which, by the way, I hear that is still worth a play nowadays. It's just a huge disappointment, because I'm just like, I'm at the very least curious to see how Spark 3 handles and such, but I'm just waiting for. But the thing is that if you want me to cover that, like, don't expect me to cover, like, any of the Spark the Electric Jester games, at least not anytime soon, because I probably would not have enough enthusiasm to like, basically complete the project and such. I'd be a bit too bored. Like, it's just like the bosses are just animatronics on rails that have too much HP. The only way you're going to beat the game fast is to use the electric bat, which, by the way, basically undermines every single quote-unquote ability in the game. And that's a Kirby clone? It fails. Like, it's like, if single button abilities are way more interesting than the very power. Screw it. Okay, I'm already down to 1 HP, so we're gonna restart this level at least. So as a Kirby clone, well, it fails because the abilities, like, they have ideas, but their potential is severely lacking. You wanna know what I mean? The attack power of most of the Spark the Electric Jester abilities are very lacking, and some of them are not really made for combat at all, or recommended for combat, period. As a result, if you make the hammer boring, what are you doing? Oh, just spit out a wheel already! Jeez, I didn't know you... Man, it feels like the game is trying to smack-talk me for smack-talking Spark the Electric Jester, but... This particular area, why give me the wheelie? Like, why give me Grand Wheelie if the area I'm going to next is not fit for that ability? Like, ugh. No joke, this area, I guarantee you will die in at least once. Oh. Okay, this area. Now I remember. I know why I don't like this area. It is easily one of the hardest secrets to even achieve because of one thing. the area you have to move to get to it, it's freaking tight. Like, it's that narrow. Look how narrow that area is. I'm only going to show it for Nightmare in Dreamland. I am not going to try to do it in Kirby's Adventure. So let's create a restore point. See? You just barely not get to it. Seriously. See? That's how bad it is. The game even wants you to use the laser, too, and that's not recommended. There! Now, try doing that in the original with different physics and such. It's a lot easier to do this with Meta Knight because of his speed. His default speed is absurdly, well, absurdly faster than, well, Kirby, because not only does it feel like his wings are made of fire sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, meanwhile, I'm still at a loss of words. Let's move on to level 6, the last level of the game. Oh look, second game and they're already paying homage. Already trying to tickle on nostalgia. There's a joke I can make with this, but I'm pretty sure you guys are burnt out on the jokes about it rather than in doing it in the first place. Like, at the very least with Kirby, well, you're still having a great game out of it. Though, I'd say, like, I'm going to tear off the bandage here. Like, in terms of Kirby hitting his stride, this could come from me playing the newer titles first and having a lot of the grandiose sneak attacks, apparently. Excuse me. Grandiose quality of life features that make the games, like more than just playable, but absurdly polished. But I don't think Kirby hit his stride until I don't think Kirby hit his stride in terms of game quality until Superstar Ultra, and they decided to adopt that gameplay system from the series here on out. Because quite literally the hit point system of Kirby series, it sucks. It just freaking sucks. Like, I wish I can say these games have aged well. They're perfectly playable, don't get me wrong, but they've aged horribly because of this health system. You have very little hits in a game where a lot of things are placed in a way to make sure Kirby is always going to lose his ability as soon as possible. While it's fine to perfectly want to try every single ability as you go along, making it so that the level design really doesn't want you to keep one ability by force is not exactly something I jive with. I'm one that wants to hold on to their ability and such. And on top of that, the early Kirby games, in terms of 100% completion, is an absolute nightmare for the reason being that some of the stuff they want you. You know that syndrome of wanting to come back to a stage with a certain ability that's not in the stage? That's present throughout the entire original Kirby trilogy. So, yeah. Last switch. That opens the warp room for this world. But with that said, it's time to face King DVB himself. Yes, King DVB, the one person who's decided to steal all the dreams away by stealing the Star Rod. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure those who have played Super Smash Bros. Melee remember this particular stage fondly. Gourmet Race did not come first. It's only a remix of Fountain of Dreams. King Dedede still retains his quirk of having to stop whatever he's doing mid-action unless he's jumping. Sometimes he will open his mouth to suck in a lot of air to try to float in order to tackle Kirby. Sometimes he will do a big jump, which is something he's not done in a long time in the series. Well, not in the way Dreamland and Kirby's Adventure does it. As a result, now I'm not going to show this boss fight in. Actually, maybe I might, but I'm not going to show that boss fight. But Kirby has retrieved the Star Rod, and he's about to return to the Fountain of Dreams. But King Dedede is warning him. He's trying to warn Kirby that something is wrong with the Fountain of Dreams. Kirby doesn't listen. What happens when you don't listen? Well, you awaken something that's infected the Fountain of Dreams. Cue Scooby-Doo running sound effects. So, what does he do? Send Kirby into the cosmos. Let's talk about it. Star Rod. This suddenly appeared at the Fountain of Dreams. Use it in your final battle against the nightmares. It's time to fight. Phase 1 of the nightmare. I believe it's just called the Nightmare, if I remember correctly. And this is basically expanding upon the shmup bosses that Dreamland 1 has produced. Instead of Super Spicy Curry, you have a Star Rod. This is also the start of the final boss exclusive abilities. This is something they did for a long while, and while it looks like they phased them out, eventually they became part of the final boss exclusive abilities are something that's exclusive that would eventually be part of the game's gimmick. I'm almost dead, but I'm gonna say this right now. This boss is the final boss, phase 2, is pathetically easy. I wish I was kidding with this. This boss is pathetic. Now, I'm not guaranteeing to get a no hit run with this because I've accidentally gotten hit by this boss before, but this is the Nightmare. This is the one thing that's been sealed in the Fountain of Dreams. Now, the game wants you to fire these stars at him, but your best way of hitting him, and this may be slow and arduous, is to just jump into him. Kirby will swing the Star Rod as he jumps, and whenever he has an opening, jump. So, and yeah, you'd think that swooping animation would hurt, but it doesn't. And yeah, just whenever there's an opening, whenever he exposes the miasma within his cloak, well, jump into him. Because that's how, like, you'd think, like, that swooping motion, that's, like, you probably think, oh, I better hover over him. No, just jump. I played a big risk there. I also played a big risk there too. But always be close to where he's gonna go, because that's gonna be an open opportunity to strike. Just keep an eye on him. Just keep an eye. And just do that. I never got to finish the subject about my problems with Spark the Electric Jester, how it says, like, how it just doesn't feel like how it fails as a Kirby clone. Okay, I guess the game really doesn't want me to talk about Spark the Electric Jester, because the moment I do, the game says no. Because I could have sworn I had an open opportunity there. I had a feeling I was going to die to this boss, but yeah. This boss is easy. But the thing is that Kirby abilities are made interesting because of the power potential, and mastering the use of it can result in some absolutely amazing tricks that you can do. Just seeing things that you never knew you could do with the ability in action, and showing that the ability is more than just swinging or turning into a rock. It's got a lot more, and some abilities would continue to evolve and such. Spark the Electric Jester doesn't have any of that, and since Spark 2, they seem to have ditched the ability concept in general and tried to be a 3D Sonic clone. Given that I gave up halfway through Spark the Electric Jester when trying to do Spark's challenge, believe me, it's not freaking worth it. It's just, with no storytelling, the world feels empty, dead, and desolate. The reason why I always defend Dreamland's story is because, at the very least, it provides some substance to the world. It makes the world feel like it actually has a heart and soul. Like, there's not enough of that, and there was more in the betas, but it's just... I find it a shame that Spark 1 just feels like halfway through development, it was just made the way it was just to say it's done and no care or polish put into it, because there are some stages I would remove or split off, and personally I would have cut a third out of each level to make sure that players aren't just wondering, when does this end? And yeah, like I know you guys probably don't want to hear about me brag about Spark. You want me to talk about Kirby and such. I'll talk more about Kirby as the series goes on. We are almost a third of the way done with the project. Like, I just have to go through extra mode in Kirby's Adventure, and that's how I'm going to show off the original. But yeah. I apologize if you somehow hear the music in the background. But yeah, it's just and like, that's not going into my other problems about Spark the Electric Jester. Spark 2 was originally called Fark, and I feel like it was, and just renaming it to Spark 2 just kind of feels like you only did it just for branding. But in Patreon demos of this game, a lot of people criticized Lake for trying to put so many swears into the character's dialogue. And while he was upset at that, here's the thing: it made it come off as if he didn't really care about the universe of Spark and such. And yeah, like, if you're going to make an indie game, like, whether it be a Sonic clone or a Kirby clone, I honestly hope that, like, if you want it to be like a Kirby clone of such, or try your own attempt at a Sonic clone, I hope that your attempt will have some life put into it, because making a game, I know, is going to be hard, and that goes for fan-made mods and packs too. It will take a while, especially if you're just one person. And while my Mules project has had some help along the way and such, I'm just trying to actually get it done. And speaking of which, I beat the boss without taking a single hit. That's how easy this boss is. So, when you hit all switches, 100% complete. You can now choose Extra from the Start Game menu. This is also how you unlock Extra mode in the original Kirby's Adventure. Oh, Kirby, we just fixed that moon! But yeah, enough about ragging about Spark. You guys already know I don't like that game, but our hero Kirby has fought bravely to recover the Star Rod. But King Dedede didn't mean any harm. You know, with stealing dreams and such. He certainly wasn't trying to harm the Fountain of Dreams. It all began when the nightmares appeared in the fountain. The nightmares rode the currents of the Fountain of Dreams, wreaking havoc and tormenting the residents of Dreamland. When King Dedede hid the Star Rod, the power source of the Fountain of Dreams, he was actually hiding it safely away from the nightmares. Borrowing King Dedede's power, Kirby managed to defeat the nightmares. Now that the Star Rod is returned to the fountain, everyone's dreams will return. So fluff up your pillow and get ready for a good night's sleep. I mean, I kind of need to get good night's sleeps every once in a while. Sometimes I just fall asleep in the midst of day. Might need to fix my sleeping schedule, admittedly. But yeah, that's about it for this particular mode of Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. I won't be able to go over certain modes that we'll talk about soon enough. But yeah, Chief Director Motohiro Sakurai. This and Kirby Air Ride is, well, his last contribution to the Kirby series. After the fact, after that, Kirby would go under new directors by HAL while Sakurai went and did his own thing. He would eventually found Sora, his own company, Sora, which would become the sole director of the Super Smash Bros. Series, starting with Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and as well as direct games like... shoot, I forget the name. It starts with an M. I'll post it on screen. It was a Nintendo DS game that didn't get a Wii U eShop release. But yeah, many people know him for his hard work, but a lot of people want him to at least like take a long break from game development because he's kind of put his health at risk just to make certain games the best they can be. And while I do not share the same enthusiasm for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as others, yes, that right there was what I was trying to do for that heavy mole fight. It's admirable to have a lot of work go towards a project and having to develop with a lot of fighters and such. So while I do have my faults with the dude, I don't want to basically count out some of his best work and such. So yeah, rest in peace, Satoru Iwata. I'm so glad that Sakurai made the game the way he did to finish something for you. Now, I would say happy anniversary, Kirby, but this is not the end of the project. We still got two-thirds of the project left, and that's Extra Game and Meta Nightmare. But now you can play the sub-game Boss Endurance. I'm gonna say this right now, I am not covering that. Boss Endurance, like with Boss Butch and such, is just the same bosses with no new bosses at the end, only you have no breaks in between them, and you have to do it with no ability at the start. Quite literally, I only want to do arenas when we get to Superstar, because there's not even a good you did it screen after this. But yeah, that's about it. Next time we meet, we're going to be doing Extra Mode via Kirby's Adventure. And after that, and a Nightmare Mode, and finish the project that way. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and want to keep up with it and more, well, it's just a simple subscribe bell and you're on your way, but you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to donate, there are a couple links in the description below, and I hope you're taking very good care of yourself, and I shall now bid you adieu.